Hello, hello. This is the beginning of a series of Splunk videos that I'm doing to help kind of solidify my knowledge, but as well as get some stuff documented for some friends that are wanting to become Splunk administrators or just get used to using Splunk. So hopefully with this series, it's not going to be super structured, but I'll be able to put out some of my knowledge out there, and then in the process, I'm hoping to kind of solidify some of that knowledge I have in my head. I don't know how I'm going to structure these videos, but at least looking at it from now, it's going to start with architecting it because I have to build out this Splunk environment, and then we'll go into some administrative Splunk stuff and then actually go into using Splunk. So if you're very new to Splunk and you're wanting to know the basics, I would go to the more later on videos to begin with, and just check my channel to see if I have playlists. I'll create a playlist for the beginner, intermediate, and more advanced stuff kind of broken up, so it's a little easier to follow. But if you just want to know how it's deployed and kind of see it, I'd still encourage you to watch through these videos because you'll probably learn some stuff that you don't already know. So to start with, we'll have to architect it. I have a Splunk dev license already requested, and this environment is mainly going to be for development of apps and making these tutorial videos. There is a few different licenses that you'll want to look at and choose the one that makes most sense for you. And yeah, so we'll get started here. And another disclaimer I want to give is we're going to try to follow best practices and kind of standards as much as possible, but obviously this is a dev environment, so we may not follow everything. So if you're going to be doing this in an actual production environment, definitely do your homework, do your research before you try to recreate all this in a production environment. Play around in a dev instance or dev environment first. To give you a picture of what my environment looks like, it's just 5 Dell mini PCs in a ProxMox cluster. Each of them have 4 cores, 250 gig SSDs, and 16 gigs of RAM each. So some of the architecting and kind of design decisions are going to come from the restrictions we have for hardware. So keep that in mind. But before we get to this is what the environment is going to look like. If you haven't taken a look at the, what's it called? Let me see if I have it up still. Yep. So this is the Splunk validated architectures. It's a PDF you can find if you just Google it. It has a lot of the architectures that Splunk recommends and have validated. It has really good notes on what the different types of architectures are good at and all that kind of stuff. What we're doing is this. So it's a single search head, an indexing tier, and a collection tier. We will also have the management nodes kind of separate. So this is what we're trying to build. This is a simplified view of what that looks like. Just a single search head, no search head cluster for now. We may add one in the future. We have a 3-node indexer cluster, a management node that's playing quadruple duty here in a real environment. You probably don't want this. And our forwarding tier will just be one heavy forwarder for now, and we'll try to expand this in the future as well. As far as the decisions for how to spread them out between the 5 goes, primarily the search head requires a lot of cores for historical searches, like concurrent searches. So we want to try to dedicate some more CPU cores to that. The same goes to this management instance as well. Since it has the distributed monitoring console, it's kind of behaving as a search head as well for us. So that needs some extra cores as well. And then the indexers aren't super core heavy, but they do have a lot of I/O requirements, or pretty strict I/O requirements. So we're going to try to split these up so that they're not all hitting the same kind of SSD on the same ProxMox host. And then the HF is just there for us to play around with later on. So this is what the split looks like. Currently, I went through, added some IPs and stuff. I still have to set up these instances. They're all going to run on Ubuntu in the lab environment. So I have the management node here on Prox1. I know the IPs don't really match up the names. It's fine. So this is going to be our management instance. Our search head is on Prox2. Prox3, as you can see, 3, 4, and 5 has one index for each, again, to split out the I.O. so that it's not all hitting the same indexer. And I just put the heavy forwarder here by itself, or here on Prox5 with the indexer. Yeah, so I think this is good to start with. I'll need to start building this out, and as I build them, I'll try to set these to green to keep note of. So I'll probably fast forward through the building process. Is pretty straightforward. We're just going to be installing Linux. So I have the cluster manager. So the management node created, that's going to be the first one we create. So let me go through the process, create this cluster manager, and get some of the other instances stood up here in the cluster, and I will be back.
2 hours later.
All right. So this isn't really a ProxMox video or really a video to showcase creating virtual machines, but I figured I might show this just to have it documented. So I've already created CM, which is going to be the cluster manager, and all the other management hosts. So I'll create search head, the search head that we need, and I'm just going to document it here so you can see the process. So I already have the ISO in here in this local storage, and I don't know why there is 2 of them. Let me figure out which one's correct. Okay, so it's this 2.75 one. I was messing around with the download with the URL, so I guess I downloaded 2 different ISOs. So we'll use this top one that's already here. It's been uploaded. So I'm going to go to create VM, and I will name this SH for search head. I'm not going to start at boot. We'll choose the ISO. The rest of this is good. That's good. For disk, since this is a search head, actually I'll just give it 64 gigs for now. There's nothing else on this instance. The rest I can leave for now. I'm gonna give it 1 socket, 4 cores. Hopefully we don't run into any issues with that. Memory, let me do some. $2048 is 2 gigs, so 3 gigs, 4096. I think 4 gigs is fine. So let's do 4096. That's good. Bridge mode is fine. Confirm, next, and then I'm going to click the start after created. Click finish and give it a second. You can see 101 showed up with SH. We'll give this a second to start up. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. It wouldn't let me see the VNC connection, so I had to come onto the Prox2 host to actually see it. So we have it booted up. This is the first screen we'll see. We'll choose English, continue without updating for now, done there. Ubuntu server is fine. We don't want minimize for this. And then here, instead of getting the DHCP address, I'm going to go to edit for IPv4, change it from DHCP to manual, and I'm going to set up my subnet, which is going to be /24. The address of this instance, let me check my... This is good now. I can close that. Okay, so let me check my Excalibur. So this is the search head, so it's going to be 237. My gateway is .1. My name server is 210. No search domains. Save that tab to done. So this is good. no proxy address. Just gonna skip that. This all looks good, the 64 gig disk. The one thing we do need to change is I'm going to change the size of the root directory here. So I'll click edit. We have 61 gigs, so if you just spam a couple of 9s in here and click the down arrow, it auto capped it. I can tab through here, save, done, continue, and I need to choose my my name. Server's name is just going to be sh, my username, and then my password. Skip Pro. We'll do spacebar here to install OpenSSH. We're going to need that. Tab here. We don't need any of that as of now. So once that's done, it's going to look like this, and I think this is going to fail, right? Oh, nope, this doesn't fail. Interesting. It's going to look like this after the install and any updates that needs to do is done. And you'll just go down, click reboot now. And as it's rebooting, you'll want to go to hardware, find the ISO file. So here it's a CD. Click that and click remove. Yes. And during the next full reboot, this will take effect. That's what this orange kind of means here. So it'll go away. So here it is. It's trying to remove it itself. It's not being removed. And I don't know if it'll work if the machine itself reboots. So I'm going to click enter here. Yeah, I don't know if it'll work if the OS restarts it. I think you have to do a reboot through here, but let's see. Okay, so I have my login screen here. Cool, so got logged in, got my IP. I'm going to ping www.google.com, make sure DHCP or DNS works, and I can reach the internet. Let's go back to hardware. Yeah, so I think you have to do a full reboot here for that to work. So that is the basic install of the OS. So we have a fresh Ubuntu system here, and that's what's going to happen to this one after it's done installing and doing all its updates and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go through and install the next 4 hosts, and I will be back. Cool. So all the instances are about to be up. We're going to start with the cluster manager and kind of pretend it's just our single instance, and we'll set that up first, and then I'll show you some techniques of like quickly setting up the rest of them, especially once you have one up. It's going to be super annoying trying to do the rest of them kind of manually. So give me some time here and I will be right back. Okay, so while this last instance is getting installed, we're going to set up our dev environment. So MOBA Xterm is a great SSH client. It has a lot of really advanced functionality that's super cool. Obviously Windows and Mac OS and Linux has SSH built in, but MOBA Xterm does have a lot of added functionality that helps, especially when you are working in an environment that has a ton of Linux servers or Windows hosts to RDP into or whatnot. And it just has a lot of utilities built in that's super helpful. So I do recommend it, and obviously the professional version if you're using it for work. I'm just going to use the mobile version. And I'll probably make another video on it. Here, I'll do the installer actually. I'll make another video on it, but I do use VS Code for my development and kind of managing Splunk instead of using MOBA Xterm nowadays. But I'll use MOBA Xterm to kind of show you the functionality here. So we will extract this to downloads, close that off. Let me go to downloads, MOBA, and I think we can just click through this. Okay, and that should be as easy as that. This one is coming up now, so I'm going to click reboot, hardware, and remove the ISO file. The rest of them should be up already. I think this one just came up. Yep. Let me go ahead and log in. Ping Google. Yep, that works. Cool. So that one's done. And we're waiting on this. Need to click enter for that to reboot. Okay. So I did start up MOBA on the side, starting up. I think it'll ask us for credentials when I'll allow it here because we need that. Stick with dark mode. All right. So the heavy folder is also up now. So what we need to do here is we'll create new sessions. With the free version, there's a limit to the number of sessions you can have. I'll also probably set up host names for all these instances between this video and the next video. But this is how you add a host. We'll come in here, click SSH, and we'll add it in. So I'm going to add in 10.236, specific username. We can click this little credential store button and add a credential. We'll click new. I'll name this just my username, give it my username, and give it my password. This isn't as good as using like a key-based authentication or something like that, but works. This master password is what's going to unlock the credentials during, I think, first startup by default. Click OK, and here we'll specify the user, port 22. You can change a bunch of other stuff here. The only thing I'm going to change here is I'm going to name this a little differently. So I'll keep the IP and I'll name this CM-. So cluster manager, blah, blah. Click OK. And accept for the first time. And there we go. We're in. It has some like terminal highlighting. It also gives us this browser on the left side here. I think it's SFTP to be able to copy files in and out very easily. So really nice tool to use. I'm going to go in and add my other one real quick, which is going to be, we'll add in the search head. So 10.0.0.237, specific username or specify username. We'll use that credential, delete this, and search head dash. And that should be it. Save, accept, it's logged in. Okay, so the really nice part about MOBA is once you have two terminals open like this, you can switch between them. And I think you can split it off. Yep. And have like split view and all that kind of stuff. The coolest part is multi-exec. So when I have multi-exec enabled, and I can do this with a ton of hosts, I'll do clear. And as you can see, host name, it's running the command across both of them. And if I have something copied, like I'm going to type ping 1111, I'm going to come over here. Either I can right click to paste it. So I think it shows you this on the first time you right click in a terminal. I like the paste option. So click OK. I can paste it here and here, or here, and then click here and paste it individually and click enter. Or I can click multi-paste and it will paste my clipboard into both of them and click enter. So it's going to be super useful when we need to install Splunk on all of the instances, but to start with, we'll get out of multi-exec and we will only focus on the cluster manager, since that's going to be kind of where we start to spread out from. So I think this is it for this video. We have all the instances up and running. I think I just verified this one, did I not? Ping www.google.com. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have all the instances up and running. Now we need to start installing Splunk. So I'll end the video here. We'll start with the cluster manager slash our management host in the next video. And yeah, we'll start from there. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.